Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my worlds, the world away. And we've got an Agora Models week this week, and starting the week we're going to be doing pack 7 of Agora Models Shelby Super Snake. Now, as you can see, I've got the prototype here. I've already done a little showcase of the prototype, and I've put the link to the video up there. I brought it out last Friday, but this Thursday, we're actually going to have a play with it and a bit of a review, so we'll see what this does. This is basically what spawned what we're building today. And this, as you can see here, is what we were working on in the last packs. We've got the interior here. We're also going to need the frame. We're also going to need the linkage for the steering, and we're also going to need this panel here, which is what we worked on in the last stage of the last pack. But this one, we're basically going to be doing the front tyres. We're going to be finishing off the internal details. But this, when it's all built, is eventually going to look like this lovely pig here, which I thought I'd put on display. I thought it'd be quite a good little thing to tease me while we're building the build. But if you want to get this for yourself, just head on over to the agoramodels.com website and you'll be able to subscribe to this all the way from pack 1. It's worldwide, so you're not going to have any problems getting hold of this. They also do an accelerated starter where you can get packs 1 to 6 straight away, and you'll be able to get up to the stage that I'm up to at the start of this video. So you'll be able to build this from scratch. But I'm telling you, everything, look, moves on this. It's absolutely brilliant. The old engine in there and everything. I can't wait till it's finished on the shelf, because this is only on loan to me from Agora Models at the moment. So I am going to be sharing that with you on Thursday. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So the first stage is stage 47. We're going to be working on the right interior panel. Now, if you remember in the last pack, we had actually just finished the left side. We hadn't done the right side. So this is what that's looking like here. It comes with some details here. This is a catch for the rear seat. We've got a small detail to put in looking like that, and we've got some MP01 screws. What we need to do is bring over the interior that we've been working on. And that is looking just like that. So it's this side that we're eventually going to be working on. But before we do, I'm just going to put that to one side, because the little detail that we just saw, let's open it up, we're going to be putting into the shape that we can actually see on the interior panel here. Now, this detail, as you see, has got a semicircular shape. That's just going to go onto the semicircular shape here. So we'll push that in just like that. And then we're going to connect that to the other side using one of the MP01 screws. Load it up on my trusty screwdriver, and then that's going to go in, hopefully, nice and easy on this side. The advantage with it being like a semicircular shape is that it can't move round. So when that's in, it's going to look just like that. Now the next part we need is the seat release lever, looking just like this. And as you can see on the other side, we've got a lug there. That's just going to fit the shape and the lug that you can see in this trim panel here. So that's just going to go on just like that. And once again, it's going to be held in on the other side with the MP01 screws. So nice easy stage this one. Let's get them loaded up and put in here. These are all plastic, they're not going to need oil. They should go in quite easily, but my recommendation is push hard with these and turn slow, because you don't want to round screw heads, but you do want it to be in all the way and nice and tight. So that will now look just like that. Now we've come to the time where we're actually going to attach this to this side here. So what I'm going to do is turn it upside down, and we can see exactly how we did it on the other side there. So we're going to mirror that on this side. So what this is going to do is going to fit over these 3 holes, 1, 2, 3 here, just like that. But we also need to make sure that this section here, this little flap, is just going underneath this section here. And then we've got the hole on this section here is going to go just above that lug just there. So position it up by basically putting that hole in first and the lug to line it up, and then everything else should hopefully just clip into place. That's 1 in, 2 in, and 3 in. See, nice and smooth, just like that. These are going to be held in once again with MP01 screws. So I think I'll put the middle one in first, and then that'll hold everything together there. I'm not tightening it up completely, just enough so I can line up the rest of these. Here's number 2. And finally, the third one, just at the back here. And then what we'll do Just tighten them up completely. And when that's in, it should look just like that. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to take the seat that we've been working on in the last pack, and as you can see we've got two lugs here and here. Now on the vehicle on either side, just in the middle section, just a little bit further up, you've got a hole here and you've got a mirror of that on the hole just this side here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting it in this way round so that these pieces here will be in for the seat. So let me put them in and I'll show you exactly how this looks. That's one side. You might need to just push it out a little bit to get the other side in. And there we go. That's in just like that. As you can see, this seat now is on a pivot, so that can actually go up to that position there. And then when we put it down, it'll just go and lie flat like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Which brings us over to stage 48 now, where we're going to be adding another bit of trim panel just to the back walls of the sections that we were working on there. And in this one, as you see, we've got the panel looking like that. We've also got a vent or trim, bit of chrome there, MP05 screws, and we've got once again MP01. So we want to take this vent grill looking like that, and quite simply this is just going to go into the indent here, and it's going to be held in once I've clipped it in here just like that. Actually stays in on its own, but it does want it held in on the other side with some MP01 screws. So we will put them in. We don't want these falling out when the vehicle's together, do we? Because I think it'd be a little bit tricky to actually put it in there. And this interior is really impressive. The thing with the completed model over here is that obviously with the actual metal around it, it's hard to get into the back. So any work you want to do, you need to do it now while it's like that. Now this section is actually just going to fit on top of this section here, so it's probably best to actually just put it on its side, and then you'll be able to see the lugs where this is going to fit. So this is basically going to be going over this section here with the smaller sort of like lug on this side here. It's just going to go over the small section that you can see just there. So when we put this in, it's going to look just like that. Now this is going to be held in with two MP01 screws, and on this side we're going to have an MP05 screw. So I'll put the MP01 screws in first. Here's the first one. Make sure that's nice and tight. Excellent. Then we're going to be doing another MP01 at this side. And then finally the last screw just in there is just one of the smaller MP05s. They look just like this. They're a lot smaller. That's just going to go in here. Nice and tight. And there we go. That's that side panel in. So now that's looking just like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 49, we're going to be working on the lower dashboard panel, and we're actually putting some seat belts in. So, and a roll cage by the look of it as well. So this one looks or stands to be quite a fiddly little thing. Now we're going to be putting this dashboard trim, and basically it goes in with the detail facing towards the inner of the car. So the outside's going to have this section on. So when we put it on, we're going to be putting probably on the best on the side camera over these two lugs here, which means we need to put it under this detail here. So it sits kind of like a little bit fiddly, kind of like that. And then this is going to be held in with MP01 screws. So if I put one in, I'm sure it will actually hold itself into place, and it's probably best on the side camera that you see this, because this is a very tricky thing to do. I'm also very conscious that I am working with a lot of black plastic here, so it's going to be hard to see. So let's get one in. Now I've got them lined up, so I'm just going to screw these in as tight as I can get them, and then I'll show you what they look like. This is a very hard detail to actually show you on camera. If you look on the top there, there's the detail in place just under the dashboard. Now I could put this whole dashboard to one side for a second, because we're going to be working on the seat belts. So I'll get each seat belt untangled so you can see they're sort of like in a Y shape here. We've got one looking just like that, and we've got a mirror of that with the second one looking just like that. So we just take one of the seat belts here, and this is the sort of like buckle section of the end here, and that's going to be going into this detail looking just like that. So quite simply, to do that, we're just going to feed it through this end here. It's going to be a little bit tricky to get this through, but when you've got it through, push it all the way through, and it should feed all the way through the other side just like that. Then we just need to fold it over this section to stop it coming out on itself. So I'm just going to move this metal round and then pull this back down, and you can get an idea of how that should look then in there, just like that. Then this whole section here is going to be attached to the roll bar here. Now it doesn't matter what side we put this on, because obviously they're going to be the same, these belts, but quite simply all they do is they're going to go over the top there. That's going to hold all of that detail in place, and it's going to be held in just with one screw at the top there, and that's an MP05 screw. So we've got them here. I'm having to hold these with my hand at the moment. I should have really got the screws out first, shouldn't I? Load up the screw, and then we're just going to put it just into the hole just at the top there. There we go. Make sure that's nice and tight. Excellent. And that's the first belt in place, looking just like that. We're going to do the same on the other side here. So once again, we're going to push the detail just through the gap there. But once you've got it, you should be able to feed it out the other side here, just like that. Once again, lie it flat so that it goes nowhere, so it looks just like that. And then once again, we're going to put this whole detail just against the top of the roll bar like that, and hold it in place with an MP05 screw. And there we go. That's both belts attached to the roll bar cage. Now we're going to be bringing over the vehicle, and we've got these two holes here, which is what the roll bar page is going to fit on. One just here, one just the other side. So all we have to do is clip them into the holes, one that side, one the other side here, just like that. And they're going to be secured on the other side, just again with the MP05 screws that we've been using in this stage. So I'll put this one in first. As you can see, we've got a little hole just in the side here, and that's the first one in, nice and tight. And then another MP05 just for this other side here, and we'll tighten that one in, and there we go. That is the roll cage in, nice and secure. So now we're going to be positioning these seat belts. We're going to work on the driver's side first. We don't want any tangles in this belt, so the outside one, this one here, is going to go through the slot that we can see just there at the side of the driver's seat. So I'll put that into place just like that, and then as you can see, we've got a hole just on this side. It's going to fit over the top of that lug just there. So when I push this back through, it's going to hold itself in place quite tight. Put that on again over that lug just there. Now it does push quite secure over that lug, but it does suggest if you wanted to, you can put a little dab of glue in there. I don't think I'm going to need to, because that's quite secure there. But we're going to do the same on the other side here on the passenger side. So I'm going to put that one in just on the side here. Once again, this is the passenger one. I'll put that through. I'm just going to put it over the lug. Probably helps to have tweezers for this section. Line that up and then push that onto the lug, and then push it back through so it's nice and tight. And then we've got, as you can see, both of these belts on the outsides secured in. We're going to do the inside ones now, and they're going to be on these sections just here. So turning it over, once again, we're going to take the other side of the Y shape. Doesn't matter if it's the drivers or the passengers. Hold it in my tweezers and push that through the little gap that we got down here. As you can see, I fed that through gently here. So I'm going to try and pull it out now with my tweezers here by just hooking it under that buckle, and we can get that through, as you can see there. Then once again, this is going to fit just over the lug on this side. Oh, this is fiddly. Push that in, and then I'm just going to push this back here to make sure that's in nice and tight. So the passenger side one's in, we just got to finish off with the driver's side. So once again, load up my driver, my tweezers, push it in the hole, turn it upside down. That's gone all the way through, which is excellent. Lock it into place just over the lug. Push down on that to lock that in. That's locked in, and once again we can just pull that back through, and now both of those are secure. And obviously we've got the belts on this side here. The driver's belt's going to go over this side, and that one's going to go over this side. Now if you wanted to, you could actually plug these belts in as well, just keep them out of the way like this. That's the driver's one in. I'll do the same on the passenger side, just keeps things tidy. Now it is worth noting that the belts actually go in front of the seats, which shouldn't be too hard once they're in position, because there is a little bit of leeway in the roll bar here. So as you can see, the driver's side there is going to look just like that. We'll do the same on the passenger side here. Just hook it over there, one, and then this side here, two. Make sure there's no tangles in it. Take them out, and there we go. That looks absolutely brilliant. And there we go, that's all the belts in place. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So I'm going to put that to one side, because stage 50 we're going to be working on the rear seat belts. And that's what this looks like here. So we get that cut open, and have a look what we got here. We've got the rear seats looking like that. And we've also got some belts and some details just here. And we've also got some MP01 screws. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take the belt that looks like this, which has got the end on it like that. On the other side's got a silver bit. But what we want to do is we want to push it into these holes just here. But we want to push it so that the front of the belt here is actually facing the back. So when it's forward, it'll be the front that's showing. So we'll put that through now. That's the first one in. And once again, it's just going to hook over the lug that you can see at the back there. So I'll push this into place. Lock it in. Just like that. That's going nowhere now. And now when it's out, as you can see, it's going to hang down like that. We're going to do the same on the other side. So once again, push it through just the hole that we can see there. Make it go through the end here. If you do need a little bit of help, then my suggestion is use tweezers, which I'm going to have to use here, I think, just to help me out get that through like that. Push it over the lug. And then push that home, so that locks itself in. Then you can push on that quite hard. That's the two seat belts in. Now we need to put the other belts in that go over arm. And these are simple, these ones, because we haven't got to actually just thread them through anything. We just put them over the top of the lugs that we can see here and here. So I'll put this one in first. Line it up. And push that home. Just like that. So then we've got one belt coming out that side. Do the same on the other side there. Over the lug. Push it home to make sure that doesn't come out. As you can see, they hold themselves in there. And then this will be going on this side. And if you wanted to, you could actually just secure these together. Which I think I'm going to do, just to keep things tidy. And that's one belt. And we'll do the same on the other side here. Put the second one in this side, just like that. And there we go, that's the two belts in place. Lovely bit of detail, isn't it? But that's the belts done. And then all we're going to do is we're going to put the seat in position, which means we just need to lift up this panel here, because the seat is actually just going to go into this section here. And as you can see, we've got some holes at the bottom. They're going to match the screw holes that we've got either side here. So I'll put that in. Let's just put that belt back over, because we don't want to trap the belt in there. Just like that. And that's the seat into place, and then that's going to be screwed in from the other side with MP01 screws. So I've got them lined up here. I'm going to hold the seat, and I'll put one screw in first, just to keep that seat into place. Probably best on the top camera here. I'll put one the other side as well, just at the back. There we go. That rear seat is now into place. We've got two more screws to put in. It's 4 screws in total. Probably best to show you on this camera now. As you can see where I'm putting these screws. One in this side here. I'm not left-handed, so this could be tricky. What I'll do is I'll reach over, I think, and then I can still put it in with my right hand there. So one in there. I'll tighten that up, and we've got one just down the bottom there. And there we go. That's the seats and the belts in place, and obviously the seat panel can go over the top of the seat there, hiding that in place. But that looks pretty impressive. That's all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 51 is a rear platform and back seat locks. So I'm going to get this out. Lots of details on this section here. Make sure there's nothing else in there. We'll get the trim chrome panel out here. We've got this lovely feltness again. Feels absolutely great. Looks really impressive as too. And then we've got these little details in this pack here. So we get them open. And this time we've got some MP05 screws and some MP01 screws. What I like about this build, it's been very minimal the amount of screws. We're either using the MP01s on the plastics or we're using MP05. It's not like there's hundreds of screws to remember. So I've got just some of them out now. And the first thing we have to do is just push this part into this section here. Now we've got 2 lugs. They're just going to go through the holes here. And it's going to go on this way so we can actually see the holes in the side of the details here, and obviously this section is going to be looking like that. I'm getting fingerprints all over this, so I'll have to clean that off afterwards. Now bringing over the vehicle again, I'm going to fold this section down because this is just going to be going on the back section that we can see just here, and obviously it's going to line up these holes here with the holes that you can see there. So I'll lie this face down, keep that into place like that. And then we need to turn the vehicle over because it's going to be held in with MP01 screws just on this side here, just into these 2 lugs. So let's put those in. Here's the first one, nice and tight, and then the second one just on the other side. Just like that. Now we're going to be turning it back over, because we're going to be putting these seat lock details in, which look just like that. Now they're going to match the shape that we've got on there. So if you look on the underside, there's a notch on there, and that will dictate what way round these go. These are going to be held in with the MP05 screws. So I'm just pushing that into place, and they should fit flat on that base just like that. So get an MP5 screw ready, because once again I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to put an MP05 just in here. Hopefully you can see that on my side camera there. And that will hold the detail in place and also hold that back seat in place as well. The black shelf, sorry. So put the last one in, exactly like last time. Make sure it fits flat in there. MP05 screw. It's ingenious how they have the fold away seats in this car, I have to say. I find that impressive. Okay, here's the last screw here, and there we go, that's into place nice and tight, and there we go. So that's pretty much finished. We've got the shelf done there, and as I said, we can actually put this section up here and here to reveal the back seats. But yeah, I'm sure you'll agree, that is brilliant. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now here's the wheels. This is what they look like. It's the first time I've seen the wheels for this car. I do believe, don't quote me, but I do believe we're not only getting the set of Goodyear wheels that you can see here, we are also going to be getting the Mustang wheels. But that's a watch this space sort of thing, that is. So we get those all out. Loads of details in here. Now the first thing we need to do is put the rim, looking just like that, inside the wheel. So as you can see, I've got a bowl of hot water here, and I'm just going to leave that to soak for a good 3 minutes. We're going to get this into place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this all to one side for a minute. I'm going to get a nice cloth out because I don't want to get my work surface wet. And then what we'll do is we'll fish this out and we'll try and get the detail on the rim. Now obviously we want the rim facing outwards to this white bar here. So we'll put that in now. As you can see, now it's hot, it's a lot more manoeuvrable. I can stretch it, I can pretty much do what I want with it actually. So we'll get that in, pull it all the way over, a bit like you're putting a bicycle tyre on really. But you don't want it to go too far over the other side here. So over this side, keep going, revolving it round in my fingers like that. There we go, almost there. And we're done. Dry that off. Put that to one side, and that is how you put the rubber on the wheel. So I'm going to let that cure or set just for some time, because we're actually going to start creating the brake caliper that's going behind it. So we're going to start putting the brake parts together. Now as you can see, we've got two holes here which are going to go into the lugs on this section here. Now what I did was I just kept rotating it until the lugs fit nice and flush in there like that. So that's going to be positioned that way. So the next thing we do, we're going to take this section of the brake here, and that's going to go on this side, just in like that. And then we've got the caliper here, which is going to go back on this side here. It's going to fit just into that little section that you can see there, the little hole. So when we put it in, it's going to hold all of those parts together. That's going to be held in there with an MD04 screw, which is a really, really tiny screw. I've got one loaded up just here now, so I'll put that in. Just like this, and secure that tight, just like that, and that's now kept the brake caliper on. It enables this to turn, as you can see. It's wobbly, but obviously that's going to stop when the wheel's attached, and that is pretty much the brake assembly completed. So what we're going to do then is bring over the wheel now, and we're going to align the wheel. As you can see here, we've got a notch just at the top that's going to match that notch of the wheel just there. So we'll line that up now. Kind of like get in there, so that's now all into place, and it's going to be secured in on this side here with an MD02 screw. So I'll get these open, and because this is quite a tight section this is actually going into, I am going to just touch a bit of oil just onto this screw. Anything with D in it, I am putting a little bit of oil on. So holding that into place, it's going to be screwed in from this side here, just like that. You'll feel it bite as it goes in, and you want to make sure this is really tight. The tighter you get it, the less wheel wobble you'll have, but that's secure. As you can see, the wheel is still able to turn with that on, but it's looking like that from that side. And then all we need to do is just put the Super Snake cap just on the end there. So we've finished the wheel, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 53, we're going to be working on the other tyre, which means we need to soak this again in water. That's all there is to do in that stage. So I'll put that in that bowl there. I've used boiling water, I'll be honest with you. I didn't use hot water, I've used boiling water, so there is a good chance that I'm going to burn myself. I was just looking for my cloth as well, you see, so this cloth's in better days as well. Look at the dirt marks on it. It's quite funny. So once again, we're going to be putting this in. Obviously make sure it's the right way round. So I'm just going to leave that just to soak for a second, and hopefully we're going to get it looking like this wheel here. I'm really impressed with this wheel. It's quite heavy as well, these wheels are. But I love the detail on them. I am conscious to make sure this is really tight. Of all the builds that I've done, we don't want any wobble in there as well. So as you can see, when it goes round, it should be nice and smooth. So very good. Right, let's fish this out. Use my tweezers. I think that's softened it enough. And we'll get this section in as well, exactly like we did last time. There you go, and when that's done, that's the second tyre done. Looking just like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 54, we're going to give the tyres a rest. We're actually going to be working on the exhaust system. So we get these out the box here. So this is what that looks like, and as you can see we've got some MP01 screws again. The first things we're going to need are just these boxes here. They're called muffler boxes. I guess that's the name of them. Quite simply, the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to join these together with some MP01 screws. So making sure they all line up just like that. We'll put 2 MP01 screws just through the top there. That's one in, one the other side as well. I do like the chrome look of this. These exhausts. These exhausts are plastic, just so you know. So that looks just like that. I think they're called the silencers actually, these boxes. But anyway, we're going to be putting these sections in first. Now these have got like a shape in there. They're going to be going into this side just here. We'll do the same on the other side. I'm just going to dip that in some glue there. And when they're both in, they should look just like that. And the straight pipes are going to be going into the holes here and here. Now I've got the right hand side straight pipe here looking like that. Once again, it's got an angled tip, so it's pretty easy to see which way round this goes in. So you just keep revolving it until that slips in there. If you're having problems putting these pipes in, what I suggest is just loosen the screws just a little bit there and tighten them up afterwards, because you can still rotate them round, as you can see there. So that's one side in, making sure that it's actually in the position it needs to be in, which is basically that position there. Do the same on the other side. I'm just going to loosen that up a bit because I did have a little bit problems just getting this pipe in. It should be orientated kind of like that, and that's just that side done. We're going to do the same on the other side. I have already loosened it because I think that's probably the easiest way to attach these pipes. So this one, as we saw before, will go in this way, just like that, and then this one goes underneath the pipe just onto the section there. And then once again, I'm going to turn that upside down and tighten that up, making sure that that pipe is in fully, ready to go, and it should look exactly like that. I think the tip for this one is definitely don't put these in tight. Put them in loose and then tighten them up afterwards. So the last thing we need to do is just put the mufflers on the ends of the exhaust here. Now these just need a spot of glue to put them in. Basically, they can only go in one way because you can see we've got shapes there. So when we put this in, it's going to follow the shape and it's just going to go in like that. But what you might want to do is just put a little bit of glue on there. So I have got a bit of glue just in a pot here. I'm just going to touch that in there. And again, line this up correctly and push this home. So that's the first muffler on. Do the same on the other side here. I'm just going to tap that in a little bit of glue. Make sure again we've got it the right way around. Push that home, and there we go. That's the 2 mufflers on as well. That's the exhaust system completed, and that's also this stage complete. Now the last stage, stage 55 here, we're going to be doing exactly like we did last time with the caliper, but this time we're actually going to be fitting the tyre or tyres to the car. So once again, I'm just going to open everything up and we'll just repeat what we did in the stage 2 stages back. Let's get these MD04s out. That's that little tiny one. This is the screw that the tyres go to. So quite simply, once again, we're going to be taking this section here. We're going to be putting the brake section on top of it, making sure it goes through. And once again, I said to keep revolving it around until the lugs fit in perfectly on that side like that. Then we're going to take this section here, just put that over the top, turn it upside down, and we're going to be putting the caliper just over that little notch there like that, holding everything into place, and we're going to screw that in with an MD04 screw, which is the really tiny one here. So I've got that here, line it up with a hole and screw that home just like that, nice and tight. There we go, that's in place, and as I said, this can still revolve around. And then once again, we're going to get the tyre. We've got the notch in that section just there at the top there. We need to match that up with the little lug sort of thing we've got just at the top of that section. So I'm going to revolve this round so that fits into place, and you know it's done because it should fit in the whole tyre like that. And then we're going to screw that just from the other side here with the MD02 screw. But this time, once again, I said I will just drop this in a little bit of oil because I want this screw to go on really tight. So I've got that lined up, put that in here, holding it tight, and we'll get this screwed in. Keep turning until I can turn it no more. There we go, and that's in place. Still turns, as you can see there, nice and easy. And then we'll just put the cap on. And that's 2 wheels now complete on that side. Now we need the linkage that we've been working on. Oh, I can't remember what pack this was in. Was this in the last pack? Because we're actually going to be connecting the wheels to the linkage here. So all we need to do is just put the linkage holding the tyres just like that. The linkage is going to go on the ends here. Sorry, wrong one. Ends at the ends here, end here. So it's going to look just like that. We need to secure this in with some MD02 screws. Now I've already dropped these screws in a little bit of oil because I am going into metal just to secure these in. So this is this side here, and make it as tight as you can possibly get it. So here's this side. That's the first one in. And do the same on the other side here. Put that on like that. Load the screwdriver up. And then screw that home nice and tight. And there we go, that's the steerage linkage all done. And now we need to attach this to the vehicle. So what we're going to do is bring over the vehicle here. These are the front, so they're going to be going on this section just here. And quite simply, they're going to sort of fit into this section just over here, like this. When that's on, the tyres are going to be fitted in each side here, just under the suspension, if you can see that, with some MD02 screws. So it's probably best on the side camera there. Got an MD02 screw lined up here. I'm just going to drop it in a little bit of oil, and we'll put this into place. And screw that nice and tight, so that there's no wobble in there at all. Now you just want to ensure that the ratchet section is actually pinned underneath that plastic lip just there, and then obviously when that's in place, it enables the piston and the pinion to turn, which in turn turns the other tyre there, which looks really good. So let's turn this over and show you what it all looks like. Now we're not meant to actually demonstrate the steering in this stage when the vehicle's this way round, but I thought I'd do it anyway. So basically I'll put these catches just at the top here and here, and obviously you can see how smooth that steering is now. That's really good, isn't it? I'm so happy with how that looks. And then what we can do is, if we put the interior on that we made earlier, I'm guessing it goes on like that. I haven't got a clue yet though, but that is where we're up to from pack 7. And I'm sure you'll agree, looking at all the interior, that looks pretty amazing. So we've got the engine still to do, and then we've got all the bodywork, which is going to be absolutely brilliant. But I have to say, I really do love that steering. That's absolutely brilliant. And there you go, that's all there is to do in that pack, and I'm sure you'd agree that was pretty good, wasn't it, doing the interiors and the wheels there. Now once again, if you want to subscribe to this yourself, I've put the link down to Agora Models just down here. Go over to Agora Models, you'll be able to subscribe to this for yourself from pack 1, and this is worldwide. And once again, if you want to get up to pack 6 straight away, they have got an accelerated starter pack, so you can follow that link there, and you can actually start this yourself and get up to where I'm up to at the moment. This is going to look great when I put it back on my shelf there. But anyway, I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Remember, we're going to do one of the prototype on Thursday. We'll have a play and a tinker to see what it does. Anyway, other than that, take care.